So 5/18 on the 21st, which is the 18 and 21 thing, which when I said the other day, my birthday is the 18th and my mom's the 21st, my sisters too. My sister and my other sister, so we're all born on the 18th, and my mom's the 21st. So anyways, whenever I see 18 and 21 together, it always is just like, I don't know, it makes me think about that. So this is one of those days where I really have no idea what I'm going to be talking about at all. So I'm just going to start talking. I swear to God, every night is just so weird. Every night is just weird. Every day is weird. Everything is just weird. Everything is just like, it is becoming like there's no cohesiveness or something. It just is like, oh, listen. There was some weird noises already this morning. Maybe it's stopping. I was thinking maybe you're going to hear it. Could start again though, because I do that sometimes. But there has been weird where I was like, man, is that a bird out there pissed off? Because it didn't sound like the same with the fox noises. It sounded different. I don't know. Everything's intense. Everything is just weird. It's intense. But I think the groomer was right about giving Stella a bath. As I gave her a bath yesterday. Well, I got her all scrubbed down, and then I had to rinse her off with the hose. I was really rinsing up in the private areas, and she doesn't stink. And so maybe it was just that she's just needs to be cleaned better, because she can't reach back there very well. That's why I always try and help her out and spray in some apple cider vinegar. It's mixed with water. I'm going to spray in apple cider vinegar straight up on her. And it was the one I made, which I thought was more gentle, mixed with water. And then that was running out, so I bought some. So I mixed some of that in with water. But then the groomer, she said that she mixes her apple cider vinegar with green tea. So now I've mixed green tea in with the apple cider vinegar. And it's good apple cider vinegar, I know that, because the one I made, it has a mother in it. And so the mother is still in there, and it gets in the way. So when I'm trying to spray, it'll go down and try and get into the tube. So anyways, I know it is whatever apple cider vinegar does with pH balancing or whatever. But anyway, she does smell cleaner, and I got her little wounds cleaned up. This one, I still don't know what the hell it was, but I just put the colloidal silver and aloe vera, and then on her big thing that opened that one day from putting aloe vera on it. It was so crazy because she gets these huge lipoma things, and it's kind of an English Mastiff thing. I know it's other dogs too, and she already takes turkey tail. She takes 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening, because that's something that they sell as if your dog has lipomas. So, but she has them all the time, and I thought that she was getting way more when she was on kibble, which now there's a video coming out showing how they make dog food, and it is made out of cardboard. I knew it. I fucking knew it. Because I've said so many times, people are feeding their dogs cardboard and they think it's healthy. So what they do is they get all this cardboard, then they wet it down, then they mush it, then they put a bunch of fucking flavors in it and grind it up and put it through these little presses, press out all these little nuggets, and then they sell it to all these different dog food companies. So I knew it. And there's a reason why all these dogs are getting cancer and dying young, because dogs should be able to live longer. Because there's a whole thing on the red light thing, which I had gotten the red light for Stella before on one of her health things. I don't remember. Maybe it was for the lipoma. I don't remember. But there's a thing going around now. It's Paris Hilton's dog lived to be 25, which she swears by the red light So she'd have her dog be under the red light therapy all the time, or once a day or whatever. I don't know. I just see people, oh, I'm getting the red light because Paris Hilton's dog. Stella gets always irritated when I put that light. But I think it's because it helps with pain, and I was putting it on her hips. But it seemed to irritate her. But anyways, it's packed right now. But there's word on the street. There may be a door opening for me. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. But there could be a light somewhere that's starting to shine in that is going to get me out of the garage. So we'll see. And it's funny too, because then when you start thinking like getting out of the garage, and it starts being like, well, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not horrible. But then when you're in a situation that's like, how do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? When am I getting out of here? It's weird. It's weird how perspective works, or perception of what's going on in your life. It's so weird. But anyways, but there could be something that's opening up, a new adventure on the horizon. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I should know over the next few weeks, I would say. So we'll see. It would still not be where it would still seem to me that, I don't know, it's weird, because it's easy to start questioning the universe of your path. And your path is set. That's the thing. Even though I know there's people who just don't think that's true or don't get it. They think things happen and changes everything every day and stuff, but that's not how I see it. I see it. You're always going to do what you do. You're always going to do it at the day you do it. You're always going to, everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be, and it's always going to play out that way. And then you think like, well, why? Then if it's so sad, then why would I be coming, and why would it be a part of an experience? And how would that be able to see yourself? But the thing is, it's like the story is written, but then you go in to experience it. So again, I see it as like, it's like you take a group of souls, like an energetic field, and then it is it's like in this constant movement of ideas, and it's like an idea pops off, and that becomes like a reality for the soul, like a dream, a vision. And it is like you, as one of the cells, goes in to experience, but it's all of them do it at once. It's like an experience and expression. And so it's like the souls like turn in on themselves kind of into the story. So it's like a thought, and then it's like a thought is created that goes in and rolls into a story, and then you are in the slow down part of the story, but that is how it is already written. It's like I know it sounds weird and it sounds hard to understand, but it just seems that that's how it is. It just is. It is what it is. And everything is, it's so much more set. It's so much more, but the soul, the essence, the being experiences what it is to be in the experience, because it is a moment of time of expansion. So it's this learning curve, it's this way of acknowledging yourself and seeing yourself, which gives the soul more identity. And as the soul grows in identity, it becomes more of a creator. Whereas, some people look at that as like, you think of the more advanced souls or something being gods or something, but it is ones that have transcended out of the bondage of emotions and desires, and it is It's like an emotionally matured soul. It's like one that has a better handle on itself, one that has a better grip on themselves. And in our world right now, you can see how the opposite, you can see the poles splitting. You can see the difference in being more mindful and compassionate and caring in your energy, and these people that just feed into their impulses and their emotions and their anger. And and it's so weird too, is like the people who feed into these things, it's like that they think they can get away with it. Like they think like, yeah, no problem, they can get away with it. Even I don't know, I just saw this woman talking about this guy who they just released who did this heinous crime. Now he's 70. He seems like an old man, but he just went to jail in 08. And so he was pretty old at the time he did his crime. And plus I was just, I mean, it starts shuffling through my mind of all these old guys who are still out there doing people in and doing things to kids and stuff. So 70 is not, I mean, there's people who are 80 and 90 who don't even seem old. So, but then they release him on good behavior. So he's supposed to get 20 years or something, but he gets out on good behavior, which is part of the corruption in our system, if you ask me. And, but it's like, these people, like, they think that they can go do these heinous things, and then, you know, like, oh, the bad thing is getting caught and having to go to jail. And then they can manipulate the system by good behavior or whatever, so they can hurry up and get out and do more. And then plus there's a sense in the system, or a part of the system, that promotes crime and criminals. So but the thing is, on the bigger scale, you don't get away with anything. You're never doing anything in the dark or where nobody sees you, and you can't get away with anything. And that, to me, it just shows such a disconnect from what is real and what isn't real. Because what's real is you are watched nonstop. It's like people sit down on to watch a program of reality TV. Well, you are reality TV. You are being watched all the time. There is no where people think like nobody can see, nobody's watching. You got the whole universe watching you all the time. You got your grandparents watching you. You got ancestors watching you. You got your dead uncle watching you. You got everybody watching you all the time. And the only thing is they aren't in judgment of the things you do, because they are out of that space. They're in another space of observation. But you can get yourself trapped in an entanglement of energy by creating your own karmic bond. And so you, it's like you defeat yourself. And it's weird how these people just think like, you know, nobody's watching, but the whole universe is watching you all the time. And the thing is, you know, your higher self is watching them. Then but you can't get away from the energy you put out. So whatever you do that is corrupted and evil and interferes with other people's opportunity of living free is your own karmic entanglement, your own karmic debt. So, you know, people who, you know, they get mad, and then they just go in, which we have a couple of these going on. It sounds like it's something with medical. It sounds like there might have been one of these at the, you know, the place that has a C in the beginning and a C in the end and then a D in the middle. It seems like there could have been one of these that went on there. I think there could have been another one that maybe went on at another hospital or something, but I said, that's only the start of it. It's only getting started. I said years ago, there's going to be a huge uptick in that. There's going to be a lot, especially when the truth is out in front of people. Right now, it's conspiracy and mob, crazy, and all that stuff. Once it is out there and it's on the table, and people are already going to be in this very fragile state emotionally, that is, people are going to lose it. People are going to completely lose it. It's not just one thing. It's not just because their whole world flips upside down and that they see the truth and stuff. There's going to be a whole bunch of things that go together that create this other, it's like another purge of the energy. And these people all have that energy to purge out of themselves, so they play this role in this world as the world flips and goes the other direction. Because all this stuff, this evil and hatefulness, is still a part of the human story. And so there's all of the people who hold that energy have to like purge it out. And so so the people so it still has to be purged out. So the people still play roles. People play these parts. So they because it aligns with what they need to purge out of themselves, what they need to learn, what they need to see. It all is so perfectly orchestrated. That's the thing, is like people think like God can make mistakes, the universe is, out of whack or something. And no, it's perfect. It can be nothing else but perfection. It is just a projection of what you think it should be or how it should be working is what gets in your way. Just like the people who say, well, if there was a God, nothing bad would happen. Okay. That is, that's absurd. It's like, so you think that there's one person up there in the world that can just be stopping all the bad things. You don't see the point or the purpose of bad things to happen. And then if you don't see the point and the purpose of bad things to happen, then you probably have never had it turn the other direction, because it takes work. You maybe are just being swallowed up by the bad things, but the bad things happen so that you can like project yourself out of it, so you can pull yourself out. It is a way of seeing your own spectacularness of your own bounty of self. So it is a way of reflecting back to you how really great you are, because you can overcome obstacles and pain and suffering. And so, and it's such a huge thing, like so many souls just going through these experiences. And then it's like, I don't know how the people don't see the what is that? Like the good side of it. They just see the bad side of it. Like there needs to be a God up in the sky who has the ability to stop all bad things. Nothing bad would happen to anybody. But the thing is it's all these souls in their different storylines and their different entanglements always playing out. And so it was really nothing to do with God. Hold on, my nose is tickling. I swear to God, it feels like there's bugs in my ears. It feels like there's bugs on my skin. It feels like there's bugs in my nose. It feels like there's bugs in my eyes. It's like, what? This world is so weird. I don't know. I mean, the thing that's weird to me is because, like, it's an illusion, but you can feel it so much, and then how there can be things that interfere without your accepting it, like how, like they can poison us and all that stuff. But there's also, it's like a contract ahead of time. Like, for instance, kind of like how I would say it, because it kind of like this weird thing that happened with in a yoga class. So this guy goes, and it's all these women in this yoga class, and they're all doing their yoga stretches and stuff. This guy's just sitting in the back taking pictures of all these women, and it's so weird. And is you can go get a book with yoga poses. So if you just are like, well, I don't know all the poses, how am I supposed to remember? Then go get a book. They're right in the book. And go do more classes. But sitting in the back taking pictures of women in these poses seems pervy. And that you think you can get away with it is just odd behavior. And so the women start telling him to stop taking the pictures, and he says, no, I'm not gonna. And so he keeps doing it. So they get the weights, get these weights and start throwing them at him, and he gets hurt. And then somehow the cameras stopped working, so they can't go in and see anything that happened. And all the women say, oh no, he tripped and he fell into the weights. It's so funny because there's been so many women who have been beaten by her husbands, but it's been like, oh no, she fell. She hit into a door. She fell down the stairs. It's always this kind of stuff, but the tables turned, and then all the women were like, oh no, he fell. He fell onto the weights. He tripped and fell. And so he's in the hospital, and he's like, bullshit. They beat me up with these weights. And they said, the girl who was telling the story said, they've got, you know, all these different angles of these weights. And so he's in the hospital, and he's saying he's going to sue, but the yoga place makes everybody sign a contract. Well, if you get hurt, you can't hold us accountable. So they said there's no way you can win in court. But that is kind of the same kind of thing as like we as souls come into this experience kind of knowing what we're in for. But it's just, to me, it's just kind of weird how it is like it can make you sick. But I guess, you know, it's like a precursor to the experience is knowing that you're going to experience this. It's like, well, I'm going to go into this avatar, I'm going to go into this vessel that has all these feelings, but these people over here are trying to hurt it, but I'm going to ride it and overcome and stuff. And then plus every different time period is different. Every different reality, every different experience is different. So this one is unique right now because it is so based on people developing spiritually as to their own power as creators to come out of the experience that somebody has control over you. And so it's like it all goes together, which is so weird too, because I see these people online and people will be talking about something, and you go in and read the comments, and there's all these people, oh, Jesus and God, and it's just like they're so stuck on a storyline. It is the most all-encompassing storyline. Like it engulfs them. Like every single thing that they think, it just registers back as this storyline. They just can't see past it. They can't see over it. They don't question it. I mean, it trips me out because I was questioning it as a kid, but then again, I had this strong influence by these beings that were talking to me. And then, you know, there's so many people I think that have beings talking to them, but they just think, oh no, I'm just crazy, I'm not listening to them. But to me, it's like what they would tell me, it was like I knew it. It was like this, it's like them triggering memories or something. It's like this all-knowing. It's not like you're guessing, because that's what it always seems like when you tell things. Well, how do you know? It's like, I don't know, I just know. And it's like, oh, okay. You know, and then I don't know, because I think, well, do other people like not think about things? Do they just accept the storyline or whatever? But anyways, I just have not. Like, I got a lot of the storylines I haven't accepted. Like, I didn't accept that this whole thing with the government over us. I questioned that from the time I was a kid. Like, I don't get it. And how do they just take money from us and then they get to spend it on whatever they want? Why shouldn't it be that we decide where the money goes? I could never understand that. But then, you know, you get further ahead and then you see what all the scam is. It's a big old fucking scam. And it's the whole basis of our world. So, see, we have to, you know, everybody has to like wake up and pull free out of the scam of control of your mind. And you have to see where they interfere in your own state of being. And that's, to me, what this awakening is coming into your own truth and not just being a product of your environment, which it's like, you know, a lot of the world, it just seems to be a product of the environment. And but the pulling free, it seems so crazy to some people. Like, oh, you think you're a god, you think you're on God's level. It's like, there's not a God. Like, why do you think that there's a God up there managing all this? It's like, there's not just one being up there that is over everything in the universe and over all of us, and he's just got time. Like, but I guess, you know, when they live in such limitation of thinking like this is the only place, and they just are under God's reign. I don't know. It just is so small of a way of thinking that it just kind of weirds me out. Because the universe in life and everything is so vast, and there's like so many realities, and it's not just like aliens in the realities, it's just realities being experienced by different beings, and it's just in all these different levels. And that's the thing too, is so on the thing I was talking about yesterday, and the lady who, you know, is supposedly already over in this one place in this new reality, which if there's different realities and different people breaking free, it would be because that's where they're supposed to be. It isn't like, oh, they figured it out sooner, they figured it out first. No, everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen. You don't have to try and figure it out. It's got a place and time when you will figure it out. So you can drive yourself crazy trying to understand and force things, or you can just let things happen naturally because it's all set up for you. And so whatever that woman being over there, and then the other woman who was asking her questions, well, how'd you get here, what can I do, and stuff like that. And she said, well, you just relax, you just see it, you stop trying to fight it, you stop trying to hold on to all of these perceptions in this world. But see, it all happens naturally. You learn at a natural state of a development. You have to go through the steps. You can't jump the steps. So you try and force what she says, and then it's like you're going to skip all these steps in your development. That is like impossible. And so but so a person who goes earlier than the other people, it's because there's people who are going to be in the other places. Just like she said, for her, she is there to, like, she meets other people that come into that reality, and then she helps them kind of come into, you know, of understanding where they are and what's going on and stuff. So it's kind of like a greeter. So it makes sense to me. Yeah, there's going to be people here that are still going to be helping people. I mean, you guys got to think about how many people there are out there who have gone towards healing, into healing modalities and stuff, who feel they're here to help people heal. There's tons and tons and tons. And it's not by accident. And even though you have a whole group of people who think like they're the chosen, they're the ones here to save the world, it's not like that. It's just these roles. And so but the people who are here for the healings, because it seems like to me that when this thing happens, which to me, if you look at it kind of logically, like if you watch the energy, you watch what's going on, and you see like what drives these people's anger and bitterness, and the focus on the orange guy who's the catalyst, if the situation being the table's turning. So it's going to be this abrupt change, this abrupt, the tables turn. And so it's, and you think about the pendulum, and it's swinging. And so it swings one direction, and then it swings back the other direction. And it's like the cycles of the universe. And so we're changing directions. Like we were swinging way over here in the dark, where it was like the whole world was becoming full, just filled with darkness, evil, hateful, lost people, and just the amount of horrible crimes and stuff being done against nature, against other beings, against the whole thing. It's so dark and so dirty. And so it swung way over here, but now it's going to swing back, and it's going to go back towards the light. And but see, it's a journey. It doesn't, it's not just here and then it's here. It's going to swing back. But when it swings back, it's going to tip the scales. It's going to turn people upside down, because we've been in the upside down, and then it's like we're going to flip right side up. So there's tons of people who have been comfortable in the upside down. They're comfortable being divisive and hateful and judgmental. They're comfortable with that. That's a survival tool in the dark. And so then it's going to have this abrupt turn, this abrupt switch, this switchback. And then, excuse me, fella. Okay. Okay, Mr. Kissy Face. So, he always makes these noises like, okay, what? Max, I am busy right now. Just sit down and settle yourself. He is such a needy little fella. Okay, sit down right here and just sit there, okay? He wants to be on top of me. He gets real jealous because, and watch, RG decides he's got to come over and police the thing. Okay, I got to move the pillow because you can't fit with the pillow too. You take up the room. Oh, God, I swear to God, it's like disruptions. Well, I don't know what you're trying to do. Go sit down someplace. Just settle down. Ah, Lordy. So, anyways, so switch. Okay, so we're going in one direction, and then people have adapted to the direction we're going. So they have certain parts of their personality that came to the surface, but instead of looking at themselves as like they're bad or they're evil, they need to go deeper into themselves as a soul, as a living being. And that has more to do with more lives. You're not just one thing, you're a whole bunch of things. And so then the people who are all comfortable in the upside down and comfortable with being super hateful, like it's okay to hate this person because he deserves it. It's like, yeah, but you don't even know this person. You're not seeing the whole story. So they're basing their stuff on limitation, but they think they feel justified out of their judgment of what is good and what is bad and stuff like that. But they're judging it on, it's like they only have half the ruler or something. So anyways, it's a whole thing for people to get to see themselves. That's why the Hopi or whatever called it the time of mirrors, because it's a time where you're going to see yourself in a different way than you've ever seen yourself before. And so so there's an abruptness to this thing, just like, if you have the table sitting like this and you flip it over, there's an abruptness to the flip. There's an abruptness to changing directions. And so, a U-turn, and suddenly you're going the other direction. So there's an abruptness to this energy of turning the other direction. And so when you look at the energy that's around us, and so you see all these people who are so super hateful, but they don't see the whole thing. Then you have this other group of people who are super hateful, but they are basing it on, well, they're, working with big guy. It's like, that is Where in the world would you want to worship a God that is focused on hate and ego and, just they don't even see the value of their own creation? I was like, okay. It's just is so mind-boggling to me. So anyways, so there's a whole thing for them to see. But the one I can see the most is that, because I've often said I don't know what's going to be the thing that pulls these people out of that. There's going to be some things that are going to happen, but there's also, they all have these firewalls. And so, that remains to be seen, because there's already the thing that they all are basing their world on is, the Savior coming back to get them, and they're rapturing out, and they're leaving altogether, which very well happen, that they'll all leave together and go to some other reality. And they could go to a reality where they sit and sing at this guy's feet. I don't think it'll be Jesus. It'd be this creature, almost a creature, this creation of this being of whoever it is, like this whole concept of a savior or whatever. I don't know. There's lots of people who say it's like this, whatever, I don't know, Moloch or Abba, I don't know. But there's lots of gods out there that can, I don't know, whatever. They're all just worshiping all these different gods. But you have people in the spiritual community doing the same thing, worshiping all these gods. So anyways, we'll see how that all plays out. But the big change thing, though, it seems like there's so much energy going towards this political system and this guy who they think is destroying everything. Well, the things he's destroying are the things we want destroyed. It's like he is destroying things, but he's destroying the things that are destroying us. And so, but that's the part where it's like they don't see. Like, how can you not see that the things he's doing are good for us? But they look at through a lens where it's manipulated, so they're mind controlled. They just don't see it clearly. And so to me, it seems like it's something that is going to be about him that flips their world upside down. So something that he does that just all of a sudden is like, wait a minute, how could he be this but suddenly be this? So it's like he's this horrible monster, but all of a sudden he's going to flip, and they're going to see something that he does good. It seems like to me, because all these little things leading up to it, it's like they don't hear it, they're in denial of it, they don't see it. All this going towards getting all these peace treaties signed, bringing peace in all these places, taking down criminals, clearing the streets, and now there's a whole huge thing going on racism, which I was getting lots of videos about that this morning, and how it was created, and we've been lied to. There was somebody who was even going through these time periods of like the Indians, what they were referred to as Indians here, which were a lot of black people and Negroes and stuff. So these dark tribe people, that they had a certain thing, they were being called at these certain times, but then all of a sudden they take this other country and start calling them Indians when they used to be called like Hinduisms or something. I don't know. There's all this stuff where they were saying, like, even over where they started being like, I don't know, this it's like that they were trying to hide what was going on here by shuffling and putting things in other places, but they were really here. And so it's like this whole creation of the original people who were here are the people who they're trying to, move into reservations and ghettos and stuff. And the black people play such a significant role in the original people, in that they want to discount that. They want to hide the history, hide the truth. So they somehow used other places in the Middle East and stuff to make their story, just like confusing or something. And so to change the names of the players to cause confusion, to be able to create this story that seemed feasible over here, but it's all these lies and stuff. So anyways, but there's a whole bunch more coming out on that, and Donald has a whole thing, and then there's these, letter post things that go in alignment. And so there's about to be a thing that is going to be revealed about the creation of racism and in the people who really are the racist. And so I don't know, that's going to open us up to see the mind control and the creation of this story, and even the BLM, it was supposed to be this thing, is just a political front. It's just like all these things are just bullshit. They aren't really there to help anybody or protect anybody, but they draw people in, activists or whatever, so that they can get control of those people too. But it's all, the storyline just keeps falling apart. More and more people keep seeing, and more people keep understanding their bloodlines more, and that they are the people of the nation. They were the people who had, and they came in and tried to wipe them out and extinguish them and extinguish their history and their story. And so it's all coming in together. And so I don't know if that will be a thing. I keep on thinking it seems like it would be a money thing, like this, something with the money, where all of a sudden they see Donald as being not the monster that they think. And so I don't know if it's going to be about the money switching, because even if that goes, they're going to all freak out. Like, he's destroyed everything. He's destroyed it all. He's destroyed this. He's destroyed. So I don't know how it's all going to play out. But it definitely seems like it's him that is going to swing their doors to open the other direction, because the focus is so much on him from them. And so I would say it's got to be something with the political or something that's going to happen that is going to shock these people into seeing the truth. But there's all these things like they're setting the table already, like the table's being set, but they don't see that. So it's going to be more like when they bring in the main course is when they catch on. So I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know if it will be the money thing, but I would think things will start happening faster. But I don't know. I mean, they've got all these places now out where they've got, med bed centers opening, but they're all these like healing facilities, and you have to pay to go. So I would say, because those aren't the medical med beds, the ones that, a lot of us have been sitting here waiting on, these medical ones, not these ones where you just got to go in all the time and sit in these vibration pools and sleep with these vibration things. Those are the things we all need in our own homes. We need our own vibration pool. We need our own vibration lights and stuff in our rooms, so that when we sleep or meditate that we're healing and stuff. So, and then to have to pay $500. That's how much I had to pay for that one night when I was with Stella. But now I'm hearing, it's $500 to come and have a night at these places and stuff. So it's not gonna, things are gonna switch. It's gonna switch. So I don't know if these places are coming to kind of like wet our lips or something to get us prepared for the direction that we're going to go towards healing and getting out of this, pharmaceutical hell, and getting more into a higher vibration, and in the steps you have to take in your own health journey. And then all of a sudden those places will be bought out by the gold, and they will just be healing centers that will be everywhere. And because it will be more of a free thing, I think. I don't, I mean, most people could no way afford to go and do that, especially do it once a week or every night or something. So it's like, no, it still is something that is like your health is, you got to have all this money to have health. And so when they are the ones destroying our health. So it's, uh, but we play along because, I mean, Jesus Christ, the way people, their lifestyle, your lifestyle has so much to do with your health. And people just seem to not even acknowledge that. They think that they can just go and party and live it up and drink and eat junk and all that stuff, and that's not going to affect you. And especially when we have such a huge amount of obesity in the world, and then it's not even acknowledged, like, oh, well, I'm probably not living the best healthy lifestyle I can live. So that's why there's got to be a lot of shifting, which I just saw somebody doing a video going down Skid Row, and they're like, where's all the homeless people? It's all clean. There's no homeless people anywhere. But that was the thing. He said he's going to clean up the streets. He's going to get the homeless people out of there. But, and people are like, oh, he's doing them in. He's putting them in the alligator alley or something. But to me, he is going in and giving them opportunities to go and heal, because there's going to be lots of healing places. And so, when you're healing pain just from this life, not even considering going into really the depths of your soul of understanding yourself and where your pain comes from, but it's long. It's not like something that you can just do overnight. And so if he is, if there's some kind of rehab facilities and detoxing facilities and life preparation facilities, and because there's people who have been homeless, and then they get a place, but they're so uncomfortable sleeping in the place that they go, there's this one lady who goes and sleeps in front of her place on the sidewalk. And so there's things that need to be counseled with. And to me, it's not going to be, I mean, I think we're seeing, well, it depends on where your algorithm's showing you. But I have been seeing the breakdown for a long time in our mental health, uh, the facility, the plan, the people who are behind it, the people who are helping people. They need help themselves. And so it isn't, that's still putting somebody above you, still putting somebody over you. And then the birth of these life coaches, but these people who wanted to help other people, but you're going to pay me for it. That is still feeding into this old system. So it's going to be I think there's going to be more of, more like sponsors, like an AA, pay your sponsor. Your sponsor says, hey, I'll be there for you. I'll talk to you. I'll talk you through it. I'll help you. I'll tell you what I did. And so that is more of a life coach, is more of somebody who is like, yeah, I've been through it. I can tell you what I did, but, I can't save you. I can't help you. You got to make the decision for yourself. But being there and being supportive, so kind of like a supportive parameters coming around you instead of the world just giving out and just leaving you to fall. It's going to be more of a foundation of respect, because a drug addict trying to be supportive of another drug addict, they support them because they don't judge them. They're more respectful. They remember, like how you get there, what it is, and how it destroys you and stuff. So people like that would be more of the people who would be helping the people. So really would be more like a life coach, a peer, a sponsor, or something like that. So it's like this changing in the roles. So it's not going to be so much of like, well, I've gone to the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist told me that. Well, he has not ever lived that. He's just basing it off books, based off, the fellers that rock their books. It's like, so it's more of through people's own experience, then it's more of a support system. And the more people who you can not judge, but that doesn't mean, like, just because you don't judge a drug addict doesn't mean that you completely understand how they get to where they're going. So you may not be a peer of one, but it could be, there's tons of people in the breakdown of the family unit, and don't know how to deal with their kids. They don't know how to deal with their issues. They don't, and other people, like, because you think about like a village and the different tiers of the people in the village, and so you have the elders. The elders would always help the young ones, and so there's these tiers of support. And so our world is going to start going more towards that, building a stronger foundation through support. And the people who have those abilities inside themselves is being supportive and being a peer and being a sponsor and helping and being a stronger, that they can help the other people. But you can't, it's not like they can go in and save them. They can just hold a light on the path. And so I would say that they're probably, if they're taking these homeless people off the streets, they're taking them into places where there's people there to help them help themselves, to help people find themselves in a world where they feel lost. And so I would say that it's probably already begun. And those people, who are living in the streets, they're not so worried about what the fuck the government's doing. They're not sitting there talking about that. They're just trying to figure out, like, who's got the fent and where can I get it and stuff. So it's, they're all just trying to medicate themselves to, just make it through this world until they're gone. And some of them are on a real downhill spiral. They're dedicated to their own destruction. And so, anyways, but that's a whole thing. And so I would say, that's kind of in our society where the people have hit the most rock bottom, even though we have it all around us. We have it all around us. I mean, people are doing in their God, I've heard so many horrible stories lately. Just one was, so this man and this woman are driving with their kids, supposedly, and they get in a car wreck. The man so the husband and the 2-year-old die in this wreck. The woman is in the hospital. So she's in the hospital in critical condition or something. They can't find the 1-year-old, so they're going everywhere. The police are out there, searchers are everywhere out there trying to find this 1-year-old. They can't find it anywhere. And so they're like, was the 1-year-old even in the car? So they start having to do an investigation. And so, it's so horrible. So then they find that the 1-year-old has been missing for months. And even the dad had posted something saying, oh, the 1-year-old has got all these medical issues. And then people started asking him, well, where's your 1-year-old? And they were like, oh, he's staying with family. He's got so many medical issues. So they just start, making a storyline. And grandpa, I guess the grandpa lived with them. He's involved. And then, so what they've found in this investigation, and they found the baby in a burn pile out in front of the house. And then they found in the investigation even texts or messages between the family members of, I don't know what else to call it, but torture of his baby. Oh my God, it's so fucking sick. But it seems that that's what's going on also with this other kid who's gone missing. But nobody's seen him in months. And so that one's not going to have a good ending, even though the dad's... how this dad was even allowed to even be around kids, I don't even know. I mean, him and his first wife, I went to jail too for what they did to the 10-month-old. And his sister or something has adopted the girl who's now 7 years old. And she's severely handicapped. And they both were beating her, a 10-week-old baby. Like, And then they had another baby that had fetal alcohol syndrome because the woman drinks all while she was pregnant. Then they had another baby they beat and or shook up something, some other thing that they hurt this one. So then the sister adopted that one. Now the 2-year-old was taken away, and the sister has that one. So the sister has 3 of this guy's kids, and 2 of them are severely handicapped from the damage from the abuse that they suffered as infants. And then, and now the other one, so this woman, I've heard so many different stories because I heard that this wasn't her kid. Now I've heard, no, it's her baby. But she came into this marriage with this baby. And then there's pictures of her, what she looked like before, before they were married. She was like a hot mama. And now she just looks scraggled. She looks beat down. And she doesn't look at all the same as she did before she got in the relationship. But so then I had heard that this wasn't her kid, it was the other woman's kid, and she was just raising him. Now I've heard, no, it's her kid, but I've heard it's her kid and his kid, so I don't know who the fuck this kid is. The Jake Caro, who's gone missing in whatever, in California, in Southern California, in a small town. So, but there's all these now in the investigation of like, well, he wasn't around. He hasn't been around for months. There's like people have been asking, oh, where's the baby? Where's the baby? And then they made up this whole weird ass story of the baby being kidnapped. Like, you're not going to get a whole bunch of media attention. What are you guys on drugs? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, I don't know. People are so scheming and scammy, but everything is going to be seen for what it is at this time. So even if these schemes and scams used to work, they're not going to work anymore. There's too much light. There's not enough dark to hide the lies anymore. So things are going to be exposed. So that one, so who knows what's going to end up, but it seems that this baby's been missing for months and at least weeks. And I still don't know whose it is, but she's still got this remnants of this black eye, which, there's been speculation that, he was trying to punch her and punch the baby and kill the baby. Or, but also there's this whole thing about the baby looks like he's got shaken baby syndrome because his eyes, and he looks like he's already had severe damage. And this guy, I mean, this baby's 7 months old. This guy's known to beat babies when they're weeks old. So, I don't know. It's just so many sad stories. There was another one. There's so many. There's another one where somebody's gone in and killed a whole family and left the toddler. There was another one where they're thinking maybe this was a suicide murder situation, and they left the toddler. Then there's another one with 3 toddlers, a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3-year-old, around a parking lot, begging for food from people. And so some people called the police or something. The police came and said, where's your parents? And they said that they were dead. And so they said, take us to where they are. And that was another one where the dad did mom in and then did himself in. And then the 3 kids are just out there, little orphans now, trying to, I think they're with the grandma or something. There was another weird one where this kid is, like the one story with the wreck. I can't even remember. There's so many fucking weird stories out there right now. It's just crazy. There's people going missing all over the place. There's this. It's just the craziest shit. It's like every crazy fucking thing that can be happening is happening all over the place. But you can see, like, there's so much darkness in what is inside of people just coming out. Like, oh my gosh. But on this one, so the woman's in the hospital. She's arrested. And the grandpa's arrested. The other 2 are the 2-year-old. He was by, or it was maybe it was there's so many different ones of these cases. Because I know there was one with a sister and a brother. But maybe this one was a sister and a brother. The 2-year-old was the sister, and the brother was the 1-year-old was the one that was tortured and killed. And then just thrown out in a burn pile. And then, but see how loud things are? But there's ones being dismembered. Like, there's so much fucking just shit, man. So much horrible shit going on. So, anyways, but I would say, so there's lots of that, which, but to me, it is like that lady who was, being a nanny so she could get access to these disabled kids so she could give them to her boyfriend. Oh my God, I just can't even believe this world sometimes. So, which she just got 100 years. So to me, see, she just created her own reality. Like, she's already taken into her new reality. Just like that woman who went over to that reality. But so there's going to be people who are going to be going to new realities all the time. That's why in that one thing that Allison Coe, when she was talking to her, she said, don't get hung up on like, oh, we got to wait for the solar flash. That's when we go into our new reality. I think that is when this one ends and splits apart. But there's going to be people who are going to be going into ones the whole time. So if this is true or whatever, which anything can be true, everything is true, it just depends on what you see. But so if this woman, she's gone into this new one, it's this other earth kind of thing, this plush place that's more spread out, and which I know that it's going to be stuff like that, where she said you don't age, the eating has changed, the money thing has changed, the way you get money has changed, all the stuff that I've said is going to change. She's at a place where that is all changed. And so she said that, and people come, and then she kind of is like a greeter or something. So, see, that would be, to me, her role is to leave here and to go over there to get herself situated, and so that as other people come, that there is like greeters. There's people holding a lantern, people holding a light to show you which way to go, and give you direction. And so it would be, the creation of a new reality in a new structure through like community and bonds and unity of like, it's like the start. But it's not like she's beginning a whole new world. It's like that new world was coming, and she's just, like a host, like a greeter into a new world. But as the old world is still falling apart, there still has to be people to help people through this process. And since none of us know who's going where, you can only find that information inside yourself through your own motivations, through your own sights, your own perspective is what's going to give you an idea of where you're going. And that's what you need to follow. Not somebody else's path, not what somebody else thinks, but to align into yourself of what you're here to work on, what you're here to go, where you're here to, what it is that you're here to do. If you're here to stay and learn or help and heal or go to another world, or, with some souls, it could be a part of their destiny to go to another world because they're going to be a light in that world. It's just like, it's so vast. It's so many different things that things can be. So it's not just like, oh, well, you have to awaken and then you have to hurry and get to the next one. It is, it's just like a whole thing playing out for the universe. And so there will be people here who still feel in alignment to, they're here for a purpose. And so it's not like, well, the winning purpose is to hurry and get out of here, because there's still things that have to go on here that clean up your karmic debt, the things that you're trying to clean up. So your path has to do with that. And so whatever is to play out for you is what's to play out for you. And so it's not like you just have to be like, well, I've got to just sit here every day and force myself to get into this new world. Well, then, but why? Why would you need to do that? What would be your motivation? Because that lady's already there. It's like, uh, for one thing, if you know you're going there, you know you're going to go. You know you're going to get there. Like, I know I'm going to get there at some point. I don't know when. I don't know how, but there would be things that would be happening until I get there that would have to do with my transits, my alignments, my karmic debt, my lessons. So everything happens the way it's supposed to happen for a reason. There's not things happening accidentally. And so there will be people who will be awake and healed that will still be here to help other people find their direction. And it won't be like all these people will wake up and they'll just be abandoned because everybody else will be gone. There's going to be a bridging period of time of, of, of access to this new, like a disruption in the system of what it was. So the system's going to be disrupted, and so there is this bridge of time of change. And so, but there will be, some people will be very resistant to certain types of change, certain things, and that is because that's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to go learn whatever. But it isn't just like the goal is to rush yourself through everything. You know, the goal is to go with the flow, to get into the groove, to relax, to enjoy the ride, and to stop trying to force things and trying to think what's right and what's wrong and where you should be and where you shouldn't be and stuff. It's to acknowledge where you are is where you're supposed to be, and to flow with how things move and stop trying to force things. And that's what that woman was saying too, is like, or no, I think it was when she was talking to her higher self. And the higher self, she keeps trying to force things. But when you're trying to force things, then you're putting the energy into something you don't need to do. And so you need to learn how to relax and let things happen naturally. And you're going to get to where you're going when you're supposed to be there. And that is like that old, tale that I've told before, like out of the Buddha Bible or whatever, where there's a lot of these like fables or philosophical tales or whatever. I don't know. This is just one of those kind of tales. I don't even know if I was in the Buddha Bible, but it is one of these tales of I've told it before, but I'll tell it again, of the old man and the son. And they've left on a journey and they're trying to go to a certain place, and they are walking, and the son's in a hurry. Come on, let's go, let's go. And the dad is, just going with the flow. The old man, he's just, if this happens, he stops. And then the son is like pushing him, come on, we gotta hurry. What are you wasting time? Well, I've got to take a rest, or I need to stop and talk to these people, or I need to stop and, whatever influence comes in, he goes with that flow. He doesn't rush past it. He doesn't try and skip over it. Or the son is in a hurry. Let's hurry. Let's get there. We got to speed it up. So when they get to where they're going and they're standing up on the hill, up on the mountaintop, looking down, it was Hiroshima, and it had already just blown. And so, the moral of the story is you rush to get there so you can be blown up with the rest, or you go with the flow because you get to where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And if you're not supposed to be blown, but that's the two energies. You don't want to be just trying to rush to get somewhere where you're not supposed to be, because there's lessons all along the way. So you go in and go with the flow. So you just let things happen naturally. And so it doesn't have to be, your goal has to be to get out of here, even though that's a huge pressure of like, but then also knowing things are going to be changing and wanting to ride that wave, things are going to be changing. You know, I want to experience the change too. I want to experience like some of these things. So that is letting the things just occur and not feeling like, well, I have to hurry and get to this new world. That's the only way, you know, I got to hurry up and get there. It's like, yeah, but what if there's a lot of cool things that are going to happen before you get there? Like right now, we're in a lot of bad things, but the thing's going to swing back, and then good things are going to start happening. To just to see the people wake up, even though there's going to be a lot of traumatized people, a lot of people are going to do themselves in, a lot of people are going to be angry and bitter, and no, this can't be true, that can't be true, and so it's going to be a whole thing. But you are here. If you're here for that, you're here for that. You know, if you were supposed to be somewhere else, you would be somewhere else. But that is where you got to stop deciding where it is you're supposed to be. And that is when you're fighting against the own energy of what it is you're trying to do. You're fighting against the energy. You're creating your own chaos. So everything has so much more to do with getting into the flow and letting things happen naturally. There's a natural occurrence. The universe has a plan, and it all has a smooth ride. And we can be resistant because we can feel like, well, I don't want to have that. I don't want to experience that. I don't want to go through that. But there's things, like I said, when you go through certain things, it changes your level of understanding. It changes your growth. And so it's important to be able to experience the different things and not fight against them. Because then you're fighting against your own growth, and your higher self knows your growth pattern or whatever. It's like it's set out for you. So it's not something that you need to try and force for yourself. Like you have all the story. You don't have all the story. You have a very small little bit of it. So your higher self has a more vast understanding of you as the being. And that's why the more that you connect into your higher self or into the spiritual sense of the world, then that's where you can find more peace of like, okay, everything's fine. I'll get there when I'm supposed to be there. You know, I'll be in the new world when I'm supposed to be there, and it will be real. It will be real seamless. It's just like that woman said. It was just like nothing. She didn't feel anything. You know, it was nothing. It was just like she was here one day and then she was here the other day, and that's what it will be more like. It's not going to be this horrible thing, even if it is that so many of us go at the solar flash, that it's just going to be this burst of energy, but it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to blow you up. It's not going to do any kind of damage. It's just going to be this energy change, and then it's a separation of all this energy, and everybody's going to be where they're supposed to be. And so wherever it is you're supposed to be is where you're going to be. And maybe the reality you're going to be in isn't the exact same one she's going to be in. You know, and there can be a whole bunch of them being starred. There can be a whole bunch of greeters over there, a whole bunch of different realities. There can be a whole, just like how right now on Earth, there's multiple realities, multiple different complete lifestyle, different complete worlds in this world. So it's going to be the same like that. There's going to be new worlds in this world. And so hers may not be the one that you're going to. And so you don't have to force, like, well, I got to get there. I got to get there. That's where I got to be. Then you're wasting your time while you're here of what it is that you're here to experience, whatever it is that you're here to grow. And I think that there's a ton of people who are here as peers or sponsors or, you know, just it's like turning. It's like the being at the helm of the ship or something. It's like helping to turn things in this other direction. And there's tons of people here to play that role of reuniting humans, bringing people back into themselves, back into unity, back into themselves. And it's like the breakdown of all of the division to create the human race, or the earthlings. I would say more like the earthlings, because the human concept is a scientific thing of the manipulation that they've done on different. So, but this new state of being of where we all come into, we are all this. We are all earthlings, because they've already said not everybody's a human, so it doesn't, so we're all earthlings. So when we come into this unified state of being, then, but there's a whole bunch of people to help steer us there. And if they all were gone, then what would happen? And so if everybody was just quantum leaping and quantum jumping into this other one, then what would happen to the whole world? So see why the universe has very set parameter on divine timing over when and how things work, how we get to where we're going. It's like a pathway. It's a specific design, because otherwise it would be chaos, because everybody would be like, well, that's what I want. I want to be there. I don't want to be here. This sucks. I want to be there. And so, but here is going to be having changes. We're going to have changes in the money. We're going to have we're going to have a lot of good things to experience. And then helping people, that's a huge experience. It's a huge redeemer of karmic debt, is all the people that are going to be helping other people and doing it out of just the caring, the goodness of their heart. That is a complete changing. So everything is going to go the way it's supposed to go. To me, the thing with her, all the videos where she's ever talked to anybody about the new earth, it just gives you like a light at the end of the tunnel, like, oh, it's going to be this good place where we're all going to be, but we got a path to get there, and it's not going to just be, a few healed people. It's going to be a lot of people right now who seem unhealed. There's going to be opportunities for people to heal, and a lot of healing is going to come from people helping other people. So it's going to be a whole thing. There's going to be some good stuff that's going to start happening. Right now, we're just at this really purging out the dark. There's so much hatefulness, so much judgment, so much compliancy, so much, all these things that we don't want. There's so much of it. But it's like the light's come in to expose it. It was always there, but the light came in so we could see it. And then seeing it is like, oh, we don't want this. We don't want a world of this. We don't want to live like this. And that's, the changing directions. But like I said, there's still going to be something abrupt that's going to happen. And it still seems like it has something to do with him, because of where everybody's looking. They're all looking over here thinking he's horrible. And so all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, this little spin, and he's not the bad guy I thought he was. But I don't know. I mean, it could be, there's all this speculation over, the attacks from the ships in the air or whatever. There's no telling. There's just no telling what's to come, but it's a part of our story. It's already written, and we're here for the experience. So just don't get all caught up in thinking, like, you got to get out of here. You're right where you're supposed to be. Everything will happen naturally. Is even to the point where it is your time to go, if it's your time to go next year. Because there's going to be people going all the time, and if it's your time to go, there will still be like this remnant, this idea of you left in people's minds, so they will still have that reality to play out, but it will just happen by itself. Just like that woman, she said, she was trying to force it, and then she kept trying to relax, and the more that she relaxed, the more suddenly she found where she wanted to be. So, but there's ways to learn to be that. So, and you can't skip all the lessons. So, but there will be points in time where, different people will just be like, they learned it, they figured it out, and then they're there. So, and it could be, just like in the sinking ship, the captain's the last one out. Is that the most healed people may be the last ones out, because they're there until the last person is there, because that's their karmic debt. It's what they are here to redeem from their life after life after life. So there's no doing anything wrong. There's no doing it better than somebody else. The biggest thing is coming into alignment with yourself, coming into alignment with your own storyline, coming into alignment with your own transits, your own, who comes in and out of your orbit and what your lessons are, and getting into the flow of life. That seems to be the most important thing to me. And it's easy to sit there and think, well, that's not how I would do it, but you don't know what's to come. You don't know what's ahead. So you just got to learn how to go with the flow. Go with the flow. Let things occur in the time that they are meant to occur. And don't get caught up in trying to control and trying to, like, the things it seems like where people get caught up is trying to control things and trying to save others because you can't save anybody else. And way more is walk the walk. But be what it is that you think is the thing you should be, and live your truth. Be real, be authentic, and that will shine out. That will be what helps other people find themselves. Is the more people that are real, the more people who are authentic, the more people who aren't trying to force things and make things be what they want them to be, then that ripples out. And so that's the real flex for humanity, is their growth, is to just get into the flow of, not trying to fight things, not trying to exist under an umbrella of control, because so many things, religion is, there's so many things that still got to break down. It's like, so, that's what I would say. So anyways, tomorrow is when my other stuff is supposed to get here, so I'm really interested to see how this pumpkin seed oil works on, if that's my saving grace on this hair situation. I swear to God, every time that I just, handfuls of hair come out, it's just like, oh my God, what the fuck? It's horrible. So wacky how crazy it is when your hair just keeps falling out. It's like, it really devastates you. So, anyways, oh yeah, this thing. It's like, it's kind of exhausting. It's not hurting though as bad as it was. So hopefully that's a good sign. Hopefully it's like building up the whatever needs to build up over the nerves and whatever. So I don't know. But there's just so much going on all the time, and there's so much sadness. But that's the things. This is another thing too. It seems like there's all these spiritual people who just like the love and light thing. It's like they've shifted gears, but it's still staying the same. It's like to really think like you don't put any of your energy towards seeing what's around you or something. It's like, but you got to see what's around you. Otherwise, you're just ignoring things. And I think that we need to see the breakdown, the meltdown of humanity, because that's what makes the changes. Why we decide we're not doing that again. That's what keeps us in the light longer. Which I don't even know that we'll ever go back into the dark in this new, heaven on earth situation, because the whole thing is moving. And I don't know, is the planet going to descend? I know souls will descend. They'll ascend, they'll descend, they'll go back and forth. I don't know if, like, planets or realities, or once they move forward. Oh, my gosh, damn it. It's always something. So, now we're back in the dark. So, anyways, here we are in the dark. So, we'll just stop. Because I'm not going to get up and go plug it in for 1 minute. So, anyways, this is why I have the light, because this is it's like so dark, and this is once it's light, I've been outside. So, anyways, the chaos has begun, and today I'm going to go wash dogs. So. It's going to be another busy day. So anyways, but I'm telling you, you can't go wrong working on yourself and learning how to love yourself. Learning how to love everybody, because it's just a part of what we're here to do. And learning how to have the day you want to have, because You know, you don't want to just jump out and go somewhere until it will happen naturally. You don't need to force anything. You just need to learn how to be present and be in love with the day that comes, you know. It depends on what you focus on. You know, people focus on, if you just sit all day and focus on all the bad things, then you're going to feel like shit. So you got to find, you know, the light, you know, focus some of your energy towards the light. Don't just say in a depth of your own self-pity and hate and division and stuff, blaming everybody else for the problems in the world. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of things playing out. But we definitely need to learn how to love ourselves, learn how to love everybody, learn how to have the day we want to have. So anyways, we'll talk about it again tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.